I'm including this bonus section to expand on your experience so far and with EFT and give you some exposure to a more complicated case. What you're about to see is a 43-minute, slightly edited for time purposes, a case with a fellow by the name of Dave who has an intense fear of water. Sometimes fear of water or fear of anything or any other emotional issue can be handled with EFT by 2 or 3 rounds of tapping, and it just lifts and it's gone. It's no longer a problem. But that's not the case here. This particular case has several aspects to it, several pieces to it, that, as it turns out, have to be addressed individually before we can get complete relief. Now, you know, Dave comes to this with this intense fear of water, and we end up with him holding his nose and submerging himself underwater and frolicking around like like he was in Disneyland and having a great time. I mean, this is a great success story, but I'm not showing it to you because it's a success story. I mean, we have lots of success stories. I mean, they're all over our other videotapes and they're all over our website and so on. This is more instructional. It gives you more of the art of delivery that I think is important and will add somewhat to what you've learned so far. One thing I want to point out, though, is that you will find here that we are using a more thorough version of EFT, the one that's taught in our EFT course. And it includes tapping on some fingertip points, and it includes a brain balancing technique that has one rolling their eyes around in their head and humming a song and counting to 5 and doing some other procedures that may seem strange to you. I don't want you to be confused by those. What I'm really trying to show you here is the art of delivering this in more complicated cases, you know, and that's really the purpose of this. So, at any rate, here's Dave and his fear of water. We are here at the Holiday Inn in San Rafael, California, because you, Dave, have a water phobia. Is that right?
I never knew the term of phobia, but yeah, I can...
It's an intense fear of water. As a matter of fact, from where you're sitting, you're looking at a swimming pool, are you not?
Can't take my eyes off of it.
All right. But if you were to get in this swimming pool and were to wade out into it right now, without doing any tapping or EFT or anything like that, and got up to your waist, on a scale of 0 to 10, what would you expect the intensity to be?
I'd probably be an 8 when I got to my waist, then I'd be a 10 by the time I got to my shoulders.
Okay. How would you know you were an 8? Would your heart beat fast?
Yes.
Your heart would beat fast.
Right.
I mean, boom, 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 like that.
Right.
Or
Right.
What else would happen?
Constriction, muscle constriction.
Okay.
I would be very, and I get rigid. I have to be able to hold onto the side of the pool in order to even move in the pool.
Okay.
Because I just know that I'm going to slip, go down, and not be able to come up.
Well, you don't know that necessarily. You're afraid of that.
I am deathly afraid that that's going to happen.
Okay. And as a result, you get all this panic.
Right.
Okay. The other thing is, which is very important to know, you don't know how to swim.
Correct.
As a result of
because of this, I've never.
Yeah. So you would never even try to swim because of this.
Right.
Let's go back over time. You were telling me on the phone your view of where this came from.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, things happen. So why don't you kind of go over that, could you?
Yeah, I was raised in the Midwest on a dairy farm next to a river.
A river,
And there was a steep hill going down to the river. And from the time we could comprehend what Mom was saying, don't go near the water, the fishes will get you.
Well, your mother said that?
Right.
Okay. So that put fear in little Dave.
Absolutely. You know, you just didn't go behind the house without somebody there because you're going to tumble down this hill and end up in the water. Then when you grow a year or two and you know that's a joke, that fishes aren't going to get you, then you're going to drown. And then I remember... Your
mother tells you this?
Yeah, Mom keeps doing this.
All right.
And probably older siblings too, but because it's the way we were all raised.
Sure. And they're trying to protect you.
Correct.
In their own way. Right.
And then when I know that that's not the case, that I can walk the shore and not fall in and drown, then there was a neighbor girl, and we're reminded of her because she went swimming in the river, and it's paper mills up and down the stream, so it's a polluted river, so you're going to either get rheumatic fever or typhoid or something from being in the water. So you just have to stay out of the water or something terrible is going to happen and you're going to die.
And from that you develop a real fear about the water.
Absolutely. Right.
Absolutely. Okay. What's interesting, and I want to get your take on this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you may or may, whatever answer you have is the right answer, okay? Because it's probably a question you haven't been asked before, okay? There are people who have grown up where their parents would say, don't go in the water in a parallel way to what your parents said, that don't end up with the same kind of fear response that you have. And I'm wondering why you would have the fear response and someone else with a similar set of admonitions by their parents may not.
Well, that's interesting because I have three brothers and sisters, two older and one younger, and they all swim.
Oh, and so
whether they had the phobia or not, they certainly overcame it.
Well, let me tell you, if they had the phobia, they would not swim, and you know that.
Yes.
Nobody knows that more than you do, because how do you swim when your heart is racing and you have all that stuff going on?
Right.
Let me suggest what's going on, both for you and for our audience. For some reason, and it's probably an inherited tendency, when you think about water, you remember those admonitions, but what happens in your system is the energy system that circulates through your body gets disrupted. It basically goes zzz, like that, okay? And that's what you're feeling. Okay, that's the new discovery by Dr. Callahan, and that's what EFT is based upon. Mm-hmm. You see, we're not going to do here like so many people may do in some kind of a therapeutic process, and that is talk to you about what happened a long time ago and try to get you to understand it. And not that that's not valuable and has its place, but we're going to ignore it totally. We're going to go right to where the cause is, and the cause is your energy system that goes zzz when that comes up. Okay? And we're going to tap on the energy system, and we're going to balance it. And when we're done,
great.
When we're done and you get near that water and go in it, our expectation is that you're not going to have the zzz going on and you're going to feel fine. Let me ask you this. If you were to be in that water now, let's just say up to your waist where you thought you'd be an 8.
Right.
Would it be possible for you to take your fingers and hold your nose and submerge your head under the water?
I can force myself to do that.
You can force yourself to do it.
Right.
Would you go from an 8 to a 10?
Yeah.
Is that the ultimate test as far as you're concerned about the water?
Yes, it probably would be.
Okay. Incidentally, you have that fear about this water even though you know there are no fishes in it.
Correct.
And even though you know in the shallow end you're not going to drown because there's cement and solid stuff under you.
Right.
Your emotions give you a different response.
Correct.
Better stated, your electrical system, your energy system gives you a different response, and that's what we're going to deal with. Okay. Well, enough of the background. I want to get to this, okay? Are you ready for this?
Oh, I am ready.
Okay. Now, here's what's going to happen. This is not going to be something where we're going to ask you to confront your fear. We're not going to say to you, Dave, there's nothing really wrong in that water. Go confront your fear, grit your teeth, clench your fist, grin and bear it, and go for it. No, you're not even going to get out of that chair until you feel totally comfortable in doing so.
Thank you.
Okay? Because if you're not totally comfortable in doing so, that means there is still more disruption in your energy system going on after doing some tapping. Mm-hmm. Then we have addressed it all, is what we're saying.
Right.
Okay? So until you are comfortable, we're not going to do it. Now what may happen is we may do this process one time all the way through, and it may take care of every conceivable piece of this whole thing. You may get in that water. You may put your head under the water. You may test it every way. You may have absolutely no phobic response whatsoever after one round. Possible. Okay. My guess is maybe that won't happen, because you probably have a number of aspects, a number of traumatic memories that happened around water and so on, and we may not be able to get them all with one round. So we're just going to keep doing this process for your benefit and for the education of those watching until we get to a point where we've gotten it all through the different rounds. Okay?
Can I explain one of those?
Yeah, please do.
I must have been about 13 or 14, and I was at a teenage group camp at Lake Michigan. And apparently some of the others knew that I was afraid of water. And so they decided they weren't going to have me, as you said, face my fear. They were going to throw it on me. So we were out at least...
You mean they were going to have you face your fear?
Yeah, well, in a barbaric way.
Yeah, I want to interrupt you 1 second. At the moment, as you're talking about that, I'm noticing a little difference in your breathing. Do you feeling a little tense about it?
I noticed a change in my voice, yeah. So,
yeah, okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, how intense are you now about it, would you say, that you notice?
Now that I'm relating this, probably at a 3.
You're about a 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Go ahead.
So we must have been in water up to probably my waist. Couldn't have been much deeper than that. So anyway, 3 or 4 of them, they dunked me, and my eyes are open, and it's the first time I've been totally submerged in water. And I know that I'm sitting on the sandy bottom of the lake. And how I got from there to the next step, I don't know. But I was frightfully swimming for the surface. I mean, just absolutely frantic.
As you say that right now, are you still a 3?
Yes. I'm
still a 3. Okay, go ahead.
And finally, I don't know how much later, probably a couple seconds, it seemed like hours to me, I opened my eyes and I was standing in water up to here, and I was thinking I was going to die because I was going to drown and I couldn't get my way to the surface.
Okay. You're still a 3?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't go above...
I'm probably more than a 3.
Okay, best guess.
5.
A 5. And by the way, 10 is where you're up to here in water and you're intense and heart's pounding and you're going to think you're going to die.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you're about a 5 now on that. Okay. So you can get yourself intense thinking about it.
Yes.
All right, but you tend not to. So you kind of got beyond any repression that was there for the moment.
Right.
Okay. How do you feel now? Are you at 0 now or still a 5?
No, I'm about a 4.
You're about a 4. Okay, well here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the EFT process with you right now. I'm going to walk you through it.
Okay.
And all you need to do is just do what I do, or do what I ask you to do.
All right.
And we'll go from there, okay? So what I want you to do, first of all, I'm going to kind of find this sore spot. It's called a sore spot. It's right about over here. I'm going to dig in here for a second, okay? And I'm going to find a spot that's going to be really sore, and you tell me when I get to it, okay?
Okay. It's right there.
Right there. Okay, I want you to find it with your own fingertips. Okay. Probably with you're right-handed, are you not?
Yes.
All right. And I want you to rub that so it's some discomfort, but don't really hurt yourself, just some discomfort. And I want you to say these words, whether or not you believe them, but say them emphatically.
Okay.
Even though I have this fear of water, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I have this fear of water, I deeply and completely accept myself.
2 more times. Even though I have this fear of water.
Even though I have this fear of water, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Once more.
Even though I have this fear of water, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, now follow me with the tapping, okay? Tap at the beginning of one of your eyebrows, right about there, and say, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Over here. Fear of
Fear
water.
of water.
Under your eye, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Here, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Chin, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Okay, now on this collarbone point, which is right about, let's get it with your microphone, right about there, okay? Go on that side. Say fear of water.
Fear of water.
The place under your arm, you know where that is, do you? Yeah, under your arm, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Okay, now on the outside of your thumb, right there, next to the nail bed. There you go.
Fear of water.
Fear of water. Index finger, same place. Fear of water.
Fear of water.
Middle finger.
Fear of water.
Little finger.
Fear of water.
Okay, now we call this the karate chop point.
Yeah? How are you doing that?
Well, yeah, how do you want to do it? Okay, karate chop point. Okay, now I want you to tap in a place on the back of your hand, make a fist right there. Between those 2 knuckles and back about a half an inch, that's called the gamut point. I want you to tap right there like that. And then look at me as you do that, okay? I want you to close your eyes and open your eyes. Leave your head steady, but look hard down right, hard down left. Okay, now follow my finger. Look, go around in a circle. Okay, other direction. Okay, now I want you to hum Happy Birthday. That's to get your right brain involved. Now count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that gets your left brain involved. And then again, hum. Okay. Okay, now I want you to go back to your eyebrow again and say fear of water.
Fear of water.
And then the side of your eye, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Under your eye.
Fear of water.
Under your nose.
Fear of water.
Okay, just a little louder. Under your chin.
Fear of water.
Okay, collarbone point. That's right about there, Dave. Here, let me, right there, okay? Okay, under your arm, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Okay. Thumb, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Okay, index finger.
Fear of water.
Middle finger.
Fear of water.
Okay, little finger.
Fear of water.
And then the karate chop point. That's all right, fear of water.
Fear of water.
Okay, now what I'd like to do right now, we've done 1 round of EFT. Okay, and what I'd like to do now is have you look out at the water, and then I would like to have you tell me again, and I want you to go right to the most intense part of the story you told me a minute ago where you got to a 5. Go ahead and tell me that story again. What was happening? You were at the bottom of the lake? What was it?
I was dunked by these teenagers, and pictured myself, or realized myself, sitting on the bottom of the shore, and then was fighting to get to the surface, thinking that I was totally submerged.
Okay, are you a 5 now, a 3?
Maybe a 2.
Maybe a 2. All right, go ahead.
And finally opened my eyes after frantically trying to get to the surface and realized that I was only up to my waist in water. That I was safe, that I was fine.
Okay. Did you think about it as you told that vignette? Did you go above a 2?
I may have, but I was certainly a long way from a 5 that I.
You noticed the difference.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm still noticing a difference in your breathing. You know, and your voice changed a little bit. You know, I noticed that. Okay, and you know that you're not 0 yet.
Right.
So we're going to go to another round.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want you to do is rub this sore spot. You find that sore spot again, and this time we're going to say the same thing we said before. By the way, is that bothersome to the microphone? Was he doing that?
Better on the other side.
Yeah. Could you do the other side maybe so it doesn't? Can you find it? Did you find the sore spot?
Right there.
Okay. Go ahead. These words are a little bit different for subsequent rounds. Okay. Even though I still have some of this fear of water left, say that.
Even though I still have some of this fear of water left,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I still have some of this fear of water.
Even though I still have some of this fear of water,
I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
And one more time.
Even though I still have some of this fear of water left, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay, tap on the eyebrow, get in the eyebrow, and say remaining fear of water.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, side of your eye.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, under your eye.
Remaining fear of water.
Under your nose.
Remaining fear of water.
Chin point.
Remaining fear of water.
The collarbone point. Okay, remaining fear of water.
Remaining fear
under
of
your
water.
arm.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, then do the thumb. Index, say remaining fear of water.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, index finger.
Remaining fear of water.
Middle finger.
Remaining fear of water.
Little finger.
Remaining fear of
and
water.
And karate chop point. Okay, now tap that gamma spot on the back of the hand. Oh, very good. Okay, close your eyes. Open your eyes. Hard down right. Hard down left. In a circle. Other way. Okay, hum. Happy birthday. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's all right. You can sing it. It's okay. We're just trying to get your right brain involved. That's all. All right. Eyebrow. Remaining fear of water.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, side of your eye.
Remaining fear of water.
Under your eye.
Remaining fear of water.
Under your nose.
Remaining fear of water.
Chin.
Remaining fear of water.
Collarbone.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, under your arm.
Remaining fear of water.
Thumb. Index finger.
Remaining fear of water.
Okay, keep going.
Remaining fear of water. Remaining fear of water.
Okay, karate chop point. All right, very good. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to imagine yourself at the most intense point of that story you were telling us. Wherever it is, when you're underwater, when you're panicked, when you're sitting on the bottom on the sand, wherever it may be, I want you to kind of trip through that. And what I want you to do this time, Dave, is I want you to literally try to get your intensity up. What I want you to do is exaggerate it if you can. Exaggerate the sights, the sounds, the feelings, whatever is there. Make it worse and try to get yourself intense. Take a few seconds and tell me how you do.
I can't feel it.
You can't feel it?
No.
Okay. Now I want you to tell me again, in graphic terms, what happened.
Okay. We're at the beach, goofing around, beach party, and I'm dunked, and I find myself sitting on the bottom of the shore.
Now wait a minute. When you say dunked, did they put their hands on you and
Right.
throw you in? What happened?
Well, we were waiting. I was being brave and going out as far as I could, which was about waist deep, and somehow they knew my fear. So then, yes, they did dunk me.
By dunking, they put their hands on your head?
Hands and
like this?
shoved me down.
Okay,
Right.
how does that feel when I do that? Does that bother you when I do that?
No.
Okay. Might it have ordinarily?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So something is happening now.
Right.
We're getting less zzz in your energy
Right.
system. And maybe it's all gone. We don't know that yet. We have to test it in a more ultimate way.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you now, do you feel comfortable in taking your shorts on and then trying to get in the water?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I want to be very congruent about this. If you're not comfortable, I want to know that, because that means we got more to go before we get there.
Well, two things. Number one, this is rather contradictory after what I told you before, but with the faith in you and the system, and the fact that I have no elevation of anxiety level, common sense tells me that I can proceed.
Okay. Common sense might tell you could not. I mean, I'm not really contradicting you. Those are your words. But what I want to zero in on is it isn't necessarily faith. And you can have all the faith in me in the world.
Right.
But if you have anxiety, that faith goes out the window, does it not?
Yeah, I will find that out.
You will find that out. Well, I'm noticing as you talk about it, I'm not seeing a change. I'm not hearing a change in your voice, and I'm detecting maybe a little bit of a change in your breathing, but not much. Do you think I'm accurate there? Because it's your body that's
right.
reacting.
I noticed as I was relating the story each time that my breathing became more shallow, and so there was some constriction. That's what the symptoms were when I was talking about being at a 5, a 3, or a 2.
Okay.
And so yeah, there probably is a little bit of shallowness in breathing, but it's not significant.
Okay. Do you think your intensity right now is a 0 for going in?
No, I don't think I could say it's a 0.
Okay, what do you think it would be?
Probably between a 1 and a 2.
Between a 1 and a 2. Okay, I'll tell you what. Sometimes we could go ahead and give it a try, and when you got in there, we'd do some tapping, to get you down further. But I don't want to do that. I want to make this as totally pain-free as we can. We're going to go through one more round before we even give that a try, okay?
I know I don't look my age, but, I've lived with this for 50 years.
Yeah, okay.
So I appreciate that.
All right, okay. Yeah, I know. And believe me, and I want you to know that we're really going in for a pain-free process here. So we're going to go another round still, because he's reporting still something else is going on. What that tells us, we have another aspect someplace. Some other piece of it is coming up, okay? In fact, I just saw you swallow, and that tells me that you have some intensity about it left. And so, again, we're not going to go out and force you to do anything, okay? So let's go through it again. Now, I want you to be congruent with yourself. I want you to look out there. I want you to imagine yourself going in that water waist deep, and tell me what that does to you emotionally. Nothing. So are you at a 0, do you think, now for giving it a shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you may be 0 when you get there. We don't know. If you get there and something else comes up, it didn't mean this tapping didn't work. It meant some other aspect is now coming up. You're somebody with apparently quite a few aspects going on here. And we're getting rid of them one by one. It's like a forest with trees in it. We're chopping down the trees one at a time until the forest is cleared. Once the forest is cleared, you'll be fine. We may be done, we may not. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take our clothes off, or except for our bathing suits, and we're going to go in the water. Now, but here's the rule. Here's the rule. The moment you get any intensity, it's not to say, okay, but I'm just going to be courageous and go forward anyway. It's to say, I've got some intensity. That's very important in this process, because that means something's going on. We need to tap for it.
Right. It's interesting you point that out, because I have motivation to get beyond this.
Yes, of course.
So I would have a tendency to force myself.
And you'll try to be courageous to get beyond it. But that's not what this is about.
Right.
It's not about courage. Not about that at all. It's about taking care of the zzz in your energy system so you don't have the emotional response. We've done it some so that while you think about it, you're not having any emotional response.
Right.
Okay, which is unusual compared to where we started.
Oh, quite.
Okay, well, I'm in, and I'm in up to here. So, Dave, why don't you come in and just step down? In the moment you get intense about anything, you tell me, okay? So you're on the second step now. How are you doing?
Fine.
Okay, go to the next step. Are you still a 0?
Yes.
Next step.
It's just cold water.
Okay. Okay, but now you are up your groin anyway. Are you still a 0?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinarily at this point, would you be a 0?
No.
What number would you recall you would be at this point?
4 or 5.
A 4 or 5.
Right.
Okay, but you're a 0 now.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's gradually just go into deeper water. Remember, the moment you get intense, let me know. And by the way, for the camera, I want everybody to know I'm here because you don't know how to swim. There's one thing about throwing caution to the wind and dumping you into the deep end when you don't know how to swim. I mean, that's silly, okay? But I'm here in case you should slip or something like that. I'm not how to swim. All that. So that's just normal caution. Okay? We're talking about the irrational fear over and above that, which you're aware of. Right? Okay. All right. Well, come on over. If you could, you got to face the camera.
I'm having a battery test.
Oh, are you? Do you feel okay coming away this direction?
Sure.
Okay, we'll come this direction. You sure?
Sure.
Okay, now you're up now to your chest, right? And turn maybe so the camera can see you. And ordinarily, what would your intensity be right now?
I'm pushing 9 or 10 at this point.
But you're not feeling that now?
No.
Do you have anything? Are you a 1, a 2? Are you anything?
Maybe, I don't think I'm feeling anything.
Okay. All right. Now, I'd like to have you, I want to get in a little less deep water, so if we can come over here a little bit. Now, the ultimate test we were talking about was actually to do something like that,
Right.
okay? Now, me just mentioning that, does that bother you at all to do that? Okay, now I'm going to do it once, just so you can watch it. Remember, we don't want any pain, okay?
Right.
So I want you, this is what I'd like to have you do if you're comfortable.
Right.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Does that bother you?
I'm going to mess up my hair.
Well, I did that for me, but for the world at large watching this, if you're comfortable, do it. No, we didn't quite get there, did we? Okay,
No,
so
we didn't.
We have more left. Okay. Now, what happened on a scale of 0 to 10?
It choked right here. It's just as the pressure of the water was hitting there inside.
Okay.
I had a constriction.
Okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense was it?
About a 3 or a 4.
About a 3 or 4. But it was enough, so you didn't quite want to do it.
Yeah, because I was 3 to 4 is enough of a radical change from 0 from where I was before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we didn't get it all yet. We had another aspect came up. Okay. We've gone quite a ways, have we not?
Right.
Okay. Well, we want to do another round of it. Okay. We want to deal with the remaining fear once again, because we've taken care of a lot of it, but we haven't
Oh, yeah.
left. Okay. Now, so I want you to rub your sore spot. On your sore spot. Got it? Okay. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply and completely accept myself 3 times.
Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have some of this fear left, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Okay. This remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Over here.
This remaining fear.
This remaining water fear.
This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear.
Some first.
This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear.
Okay, now we tap the gamma spot in the back of the hand. You got it, okay. Okay, close your eyes. Open. Heart down right. Keep your hips steady. Heart down right. Heart down left. All over the circle. Other way. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Happy birthday. Okay. Okay, this remaining fear.
This
remaining water
fear.
This remaining water
This
fear.
remaining water fear.
Again.
This remaining water fear.
This remaining
This remaining water fear. This remaining water fear. This remaining fear. This remaining water 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 fear.
Okay. Now, how do you feel now about doing that?
I don't have any anxiety.
Well, just so you swallow, it might just be a little bit there. Why don't you give it a try? But if you get tense, you let me know, okay? Still couldn't quite do it, okay? Was there any difference in the intensity?
I think it was about the same as it was.
About the same. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to be a little bit more specific. Okay. We're not going to just talk about remaining water fear. We're going to be talking about the fear of dunking my head. Okay. So we'll just be specific with it, right? All right. All right. Source spot. Even though I have this fear of dunking my head, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I still have this fear of dunking myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have this
Dunking
fear
my
of
head.
dunking my head, I deeply and completely accept myself.
The emphasis.
Even though I still
some of this.
Even though I still have this remaining fear of dunking my head, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Dunking my head.
Dunking my head.
Fear of dunking my head.
Fear of dunking my head.
You're on.
Fear of dunking my head. 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 Fear of dunking my head.
Okay, now we want to just close your eyes. Open your eyes. Head steady. Heart down right. Heart down left. In a circle. All the way from your circle. Other direction. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy birthday. Okay. Read.
Fear of dumping my head. 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 Fear of dumping my head
All right, let's give it another shot and see what happens. And again, if it bothers you, let me know. You can't do that. Okay. All right. So we have a little block here, don't we? Okay, we have light. Okay. Is the intensity of it any more than it was the first time you tried it, or any less?
I'd say it's less, but just something that says I can't do that.
Okay. All right. What's going on is you get down to here, your energy system goes zzz,
Right.
okay, and we have not balanced it yet. And chances are we have a number of aspects to that we're going to treat. We just keep going on with this, okay?
It's consistent with the water level. The water level gets to that point, and that's where that is.
Ah, it's the water level.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm safe to that point. Beyond that point, not safe.
Okay. All right. Logically, are you safe?
Yeah.
Logical? No.
Right.
But emotionally, you're not safe.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Chances are what's going on here now, and one or two things is going on. And this is an excellent teaching device. Okay. One or two things is going on. Either we have yet more aspects. Lots of them are coming up, having to do with getting above this level. Okay. Lots of them are coming up. Or we're not able to get beyond the setup part of it, this part here, but that does steer away from blocking. It's called psychological reversal. And we're not able to get beyond that. If we're not able to do this part of it right, the rest of it doesn't work. So what I want you to do now is we're going to talk about water above your chin. Okay? Even though, because I'm going to have you a minute explain water above your chin. Get that far. Even though I have a fear of water above my chin, etc. But what I want you to do is to do it with great emphasis. Okay? Follow me. Another source. Even though I have problems with I have a fear of water above my chin.
Even though I have fear of water above my chin, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have fear of water above my chin, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have fear of water above my chin, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Fear of water above my chin.
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 Water above my chin.
Just do this and just get down to a point where the water's above your chin. See if you can do it, okay? Is that all right? You're zero? Yeah, you're zero. Okay. Do you feel? How about now? Down in your head. Can you try it? Go as far as you can. Okay. What happens?
Because I have to inhale. If I go down, I have to inhale, and I know I can't inhale because I'm going to inhale what?
Okay. 100%. Why do you have to inhale? Okay. Okay, you want to inhale. Okay. Now what's going on? This is yet another aspect. You have so many aspects about this one thing. And we're taking you step by step by step, unpeeling all this onion. Okay. But we get you piece by piece. But now we get to a point where you're having difficulty because you need to inhale. You feel you need to. Okay. And is there a fear about that? You have to. Okay, what is the fear? Can you put words around it?
I guess I'm just trying to, what do I feel? I feel like I'm going to be down there so long that I need the extra air, and therefore I need to inhale.
Okay.
It's hard to...
Even though you...
Right.
Logically,
Yes.
you know you don't, but emotionally,
Right.
that's what we're talking about. So you get down there, and all of a sudden another thought yet comes up, which has to do with I've got to have more air.
Right.
Okay, and that makes your energy system go zzz.
Right.
So we're going to deal with that. Now, incidentally, just so you know, you may not be able to, when you're dealing with yourself, be able to pull out all these various things from your subconscious mind, because I have experience doing that. It really doesn't matter. If you just keep doing the process over and over and over again, your subconscious mind will bring up what we need. But I'm just being more specific here for you. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put a label on that, and we're going to call that fear of needing air. All right? And we're going to address, is that labeling it correctly for you?
Right.
And by the way, you wouldn't need to label it fear of needing air unless you were able to pull that out, put words around that. You can just keep going into it because you know you have a fear of something, which is true with you. And you just keep doing it. You won't have it. But at this point, we're going to talk about the fear of needing air. Okay? First thought. Even though I have this fear of needing air.
Even though I have this fear of needing air,
I deeply
and completely accept myself. Even though I have this fear of needing air, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this fear of needing air, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Fear of needing air?
Fear of needing air.
Needing air?
Fear of needing air. Fear of needing air.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take a deep breath first. Okay. Then go down and see how far you can go. But if you jam again, you jam. Okay. Can you do it?
I feel fine right there.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well, you just had water go above.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's unique.
Okay. Put. We're getting there piece by piece. Okay. Can you go down farther?
Yeah.
Can you go all the way under? You got something going for you, right?
Well, I feel very good.
Do you? Can you go all the way under?
Hold your breath. Take a deep breath.
I don't want you to use courage. Do you feel comfortable going all the way under?
I think I feel comfortable.
All right. As you will.
Dave, take a deep breath before you do.
Practically nothing there. If I was a 1 or a 2, that would have been the extent of it.
Okay, but the water went to there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a worry about getting it or a fear about getting it above your head totally?
Well, other than I'll have to have my hair done again, you'll have to pay for it.
I'll pay for it. Damn, my hair done again. You still didn't get quite all the way up.
Well, then I gotta get deeper.
Okay.
Okay, that's the problem right there. That's a good thing. Get deeper still,
On a
Dave.
scale of 0 to 10. See, you're still not about this much. What about to here?
Need a weight
He's worried
belt
about
for
his.
this,
He's
huh?
worried about his
buoyancy.
beauty.
Talk about buoyancy.
He's worried about his beauty.
I can relate to that. Very good.
Okay, now did you get, on a scale of 0 to 10, what came up? Something must have come up. Because I'm sensing a little bit of tenseness. Maybe it's just my imagination.
Very little. Very little. I
Why-
don't know. I
watch
guess
me.
it's thinking I'm going to lose my balance. I
Oh,
guess.
yeah, that's a different thing because you can't swim. That's a different thing. I want you to get up here in the other water where you don't have to worry about
Then
me.
I'm too deep.
But then he
just
can't
touch the
get-
rail. We just touch the rail.
Why don't you come
this
over
is what
here?
I'd like you to do. Okay, and if you get intense just watching me, you tell me, okay? I'd like to have you do this. It's shallow water, so you know logically.
Right.
Okay, now, did you get intense watching me?
No.
Okay, get over here and try that. But now do it this way. And if you, again, I realize that you cannot swim. So we're talking about a different fear. We're talking about a very logical fear, not being able to swim. Okay. But see if you can't just sit on the bottom like this. Does that scare you?
No.
All right, try it. Make your butt hit the bottom. How'd that feel?
That felt fine.
Did it? Okay.
Did he go to the bottom?
Did your butt hit the bottom?
Well, let me show you again.
Okay.
Do it this way. Do it this way. So, I'm going to do it with enthusiasm. Okay.
Yep. Jump up. There, he did it. That's it. That made me happy. How did it make you feel, Dave?
Felt fine.
Did
Do
it?
you have anything? Is it zero?
No, there's nothing.
Nothing in the throat? None of that. Can you do it without holding your nose?
I don't think so.
Do it again. That's great. That's great. Wow, that's great.
All right. Marvelous.
That's great.
I said it couldn't be done.
You said it couldn't be done. Well, but let me point something out. Are we both on camera?
Yes.
Right now, what we've done is we've gotten you from a point where you would have been out there and you'd have been a good 10, you'd have been, your heart would have been pounding, you'd have been out of here.
Right.
This 50-year-old fear, very intense fear you had. Okay. All we did was several rounds of tapping an energy system, and we got lots of aspects. I'm going to guess here that we've gotten most of the aspects, this is in my experience. But it may be at some other time you'll go to a pool or some other body of water and you'll get some intensity. That did not mean this didn't work. What that means is something else is coming up, some other memory, something like that is coming up. Okay? What I'm going to guess is if you were in a lake where you can't see the bottom and it's unclear water, or in an ocean or something like that, you may well have, this is a guess of mine, something come up and says, whoa, look out. We're in very clear water here. Okay, that may be another aspect. Do you think that's true?
It could well be, because I couldn't see the bottom of the river that imposed all of this.
And we are not able right now to test that because we just have a normal swimming pool. So we got as far as we could testing it. You have a very stubborn, obstinate, many-faceted, many-aspected fear. That's why it took all these rounds. Okay, how do you feel right now about it?
I feel fine. I feel victorious.
Okay. What else could we add to this?
Just ask him to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, wow, he's volunteering now.
Oh, I know what I want to do.
That's great, Dave. Huh?
He doesn't know how to
The lady, his friend Marilyn is asking him for laps.
I want to do one other thing, which may be an ultimate test. I don't know. But I'm going to do
Deeper in.
Well, we could do that. But I'm going to do something else first.
Now he wants to go deeper.
I want you to go underwater like you did, and I'm going to put my hand on top of your head.
Whoa.
Like those kids did that don't you. Okay, now you know I'm not going to drown you. That doesn't mean your emotions don't know that. And I want to know, how do you feel now about me saying even I want to do that?
I guess the common sense tells me that if you use one hand there, you should have the other hand here.
Logic tells you I need to do this too. This is because you can't swim?
Right.
Okay.
And I don't have any, when I get down there, I don't have any idea where up is. So when I hit the bottom.
You're not used to being there.
Right.
Okay. All right. It's not a fear. It's just you're not used to being there.
I think that's right.
Well, it would be a logical fear, a logical caution. I want to draw a distinction between logical and caution.
Right.
This process does not think stupid. You're not going to go jump in the deep end out there because you don't know how to swim.
Right.
You might even do that.
Oh my gosh, we've created a monster.
We're not stupid either, okay?
I want a copy of that. My hair is.
All right.
All right, go ahead on down. I'll put my hand here like you said. I'm going to put my hand on top of your head, okay? Now, how was that?
That didn't cause anything.
Okay,
Oh, it didn't.
Just a
Great.
little farther under, all the way under if you would.
This is just remarkable.
There you go. Okay, good.
How you doing, Dave?
Fine.
Are you? You're absolutely zero.
Fine.
Okay, we're going to do one more test because you talked about deeper water.
Sure, deeper water.
So I'm going to go with you.
Oh,
You
my
can't swim, but
gosh.
I want you to test it however you want to test it. Okay?
Wait, I'm going to turn this off for a minute. Or is that as deep as you're going to go? Okay.
Okay, just put one hand here.
Okay.
Because this is really going off.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to lose my balance.
Wow. He's down there. Great. How you doing?
Okay. Do you know anything about swimming?
No, I don't.
Wait, I want to get a comment. When you went down then, Dave, did that do anything to you at all in the deeper water?
No, I didn't do it.
Did you get to a 1 or a 2?
No.
Nothing.
Could you
there
do
he
something
goes. Jeez, we can't keep him above water now.
Look, I'm trying something else here, okay?
That's fabulous.
Notice something. You are very calmly, very easily with water clear up to your chin.
Right.
You know, in fact, it's almost like you want to be there.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Where you couldn't even remotely come to that before.
I think it's been silly that an old man like me hasn't been able to enjoy water sports and hasn't been able to play with his kids in the water.
Yeah, and that's because again, for the education, and I repeat lots of stuff. Okay, it's because when you think of water, your energy system goes,
Right.
and now it doesn't do that because we balance the energy.
Right.
And that's the only thing that we did here, by the way, folks. What has happened in the meantime? Have you had a chance to test the fear of water?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us about it?
Sure. A week had gone by, and I started thinking about it. Not that I was concerned about relapse or whatever you would call it, but that it should be checked. I should test it. So I made arrangements with a friend to use the pool at an apartment complex, and went in and tried to check myself as I approached and got into the water, and absolutely no anxiety whatsoever, and went submerged myself the same as I did at the Holiday Inn, and had no anxiety whatsoever. It was fun, blowing bubbles, all of that. And then people were saying, well, gee, Dave, if you've never done this, you probably don't know how to swim. And I said, no. And they said, you mean you can't float either? So they started pointing out how to float, and I can darn near float.
Oh, good.
So I could lay there, breathe through my nose, not worry about water getting all over me, and had a gay old time.
Okay, so you had absolutely zero fear of water then.
That's correct.